If there was a big reward for some whistleblowers who could really explain what's going on within our government and really what's going on within our deep state and within these tech companies, I mean, if you make those people even a little bit wealthy, they might actually do it. A lot of them are just protecting their careers, and it's why they're going along with these horrific missions that they're being put on by their superiors.
Right, well, that's exactly why I just stated and why I've been doing it for some time now, is saying, look, the RNC, anybody, we need to set up a fund that will support these whistleblowers. And again, bang for your buck, the leverage per dollar spent of doing something like that vastly supersedes whatever nonsense they're wasting money on now. And so the problem is...
But it's cultural. We have to culturally get people convinced your money isn't best spent necessarily on whichever your candidate is.
Yes.
So that's fine. I'm not saying we need less money in politics. Even though I can, but just not. It's not for this conversation. It's got to go elsewhere too. We got to try different stuff. Why do we get wedded to tactics that don't work?
Well, I agree. And look, the Elon example, I think, is a great proof of concept here. The most effective operator in terms of restoring free speech to the internet, it's not an elected Republican official. It's somebody like Elon Musk, who's a private, successful industrialist. And yes, he made a lot of money through, certain dealings with the government, as, basically anyone who's a big deal in tech does so, because big tech at the highest level in the country is essentially IT support for the national security state. That's fine. But he's done a great job, and he's really shown how to be effective, and it's not coming from the electoral politics system, it's not coming from the government, it's coming from a private actor who is more competent and more effective than the rest. And frankly, it's not a high bar, but I'm very grateful for the just fortuitous fact that he stepped in at the right time and we're actually getting some results.
But I do think this is the challenge for the audience, is that we need to raise the bar, not just be overjoyed with what Musk is doing, which is terrific and we're lucky to have it, but it's got to be the tip of the iceberg. It's got to be the first of a longer process of trying to unravel where the power is in this country, or else we're not doing our jobs. And I think our Americans can demand more than what we're getting, not just from our elite in the government side, but our elite in the business side. We deserve better from them as well.
Absolutely. And part of it is structural. Part of it is that the GOP is set up to be sort of a Robin to the regime's Batman. A really incisive point that I found somewhere on Twitter was basically that the GOP grift is grifting the process. The GOP grift is process oriented. It's through fundraising, it's through donations and everything, but basically it means that because it's independent of outcome, the relevant people dine well irrespective of whether we win or not. And when we win, they dine well irrespective of whether we deliver on the issues, versus the Democrat side. And this is not admirable, but in a way it represents a more optimal incentive alignment, which is that the Democrats' grift comes after a successful outcome. They win positions in the government, and their grift is using their power over taxpayer money to distribute to their clients, which is unfortunate. It's in a way one of the things that traditional conservatives have complained about for a while with some justification.
But it's the incentive system.
But the incentive system, they have to at least win, and so it represents a healthier incentive structure from the standpoint of delivering for their supporters. Our incentive structure is so perverse because the same bloated mediocrities will dine on their steak dinners whether or not they win, and that needs to change.